What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to sit back and talk about something I discussed a tiny bit in one of my previous videos. I went ahead and said that I did have a full-fledged out video for that topic, and honestly, it's extremely important to me to discuss this because I really do think something is going on behind the scenes that is really bad when it comes to Activision and how they handle everything revolving their developers. But, of course, before we go ahead and hop into the topic of today's video, I do want to mention, as I always do, you guys know me on this channel, we are indeed on the grind to 50,000 subscribers. I believe we just hit 41,200 subscribers, literally 200 plus already. It's like I said, it's insane. The support has been just out of this world, and honestly, I'm so glad you guys are just simply enjoying the content because I love making it. I love listening to it myself, That's how I got into content creation. I just really love the grind of making this stuff. So thank you guys for the support. Of course, if you want to see more, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. We post all types of FPS content on here, and we also stream every day over on Kick and Twitch besides Sundays, of course. So if you guys do want to see my stream live and in action, we'll be live today around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We go for around 5 hours. You can find me on Kick today, and we'll be more than likely playing X-Defiant because the beta is going to be ending tomorrow on Tuesday. So ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy this game and you want to give it a little bit more of a go, make sure you get some playtime in today. And also, we do open lobbies over on my stream as well. So like I said, tune into the Kick stream, hit me up in chat, add me up, and we'll run some matches. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we already know Activision has massive control over pretty much all the developers who work on their titles. I mean, look at Treyarch, for an example. They have been getting butchered year after year after year. And honestly, they still put out some pretty decent projects, but the reality of it is that they don't get any time to work on those projects, and they're used as, I don't know what they're used as, but they're definitely not used as, a top-tier development team. Top-tier AAA development team. They're used to pick up all the scraps, all the messes, and, fix all the problems that are going on within all these other games. Kind of depressing if you think about it, but in my opinion, it seems to get worse and worse and worse because it's not just how Activision controls what they do and, what they produce, but at the same time, they control what they even say, what they're allowed to say, what they're, able to speak about or even communicate with their own communities. I didn't want to believe it at first. I always wanted to believe that it really is the ego of some of these developers. But even when it comes down to like developers, for example, like Treyarch, they do a pretty dang good job. But even when their games launch, it's complete silence. Sledgehammer Games, throughout the beta, they got a lot of feedback and they fixed a lot of feedback. And yeah, I would say they communicate the most. Let's be honest here. They do. But I feel like they don't feel like they have as much to lose compared to Treyarch and Infinity Ward. But at the end of the day, even them still, throughout the the process of their games, they get very minimal silence. A lot of the times when these Call of Duty developers come out to us, they come to us with blog posts, every month or 2 months or something like that once, or, some updates and stuff like that. But it's not as consistent as we're seeing with these other development teams now. I got to be honest. Like I said, I play a lot of X-Defiant now, and the developer feedback is absolutely out of this world. I mean, even things that I didn't even know that I would be curious about or want to know stuff about, is being spoken. And you have to understand that a lot of our feedback, a lot of us on the internet, creators or even just consumers or just your casual people out there, we don't know anything about game development. We don't know how to code, but we do have a general understanding of, what will make a fun game out of our favorite franchises. But a lot of the time, and I mean a lot of the time, we all say stupid stuff that just, realistically can't be done in games. But instead of just either ignoring us, not, wanting to take any of our feedback or doing any of that nonsense, they at least listen and they do what they can do to find a middle ground to make us the happiest that we can possibly be. And if it can't be done, they explain why it can't be done. Help us understand why, because they understand that we don't have the education to, know what coding a video game is all about. We're coming from a consumer perspective, just like how a lot of those game developers came from a consumer perspective. A lot of them had a passion for gaming to begin with, and they wanted to go further with it. They know how we all feel. They know our passion for these projects. So they talk to us. They communicate with us. They take our feedback. They implement it into the game. I've not felt ignored with X-Defiant a single time throughout both closed betas, and even when the betas are down, I still feel like there's more communication for this game than there is for games that are actively live right at this very moment. Cough, cough, Call of Duty. And it's not even just X-Defiant. Look at Battlefield. EA DICE. They've been doing a phenomenal job. But I will be honest, in the beginning of the game, it was bad. It was rough. You know, it wasn't like they actually listened. It was huge problems. But the second the game dropped, and you have to remember as well that game went through development hell. You know, they changed the course of that title like 3-4 different times. They had no identity for it. So the way that it turned out, it does not shock me in any way, shape, or form. But what gives me hope and what, you know, gained my respect back is how they listened to us and they did what they can do to turn the game around a decent amount. It's not like it's the best Battlefield game out there, not even close. You know, I would probably still take Battlefield 4 over 2042 till this very current date. But is it fun? Is it playable? Can I play it until the next Battlefield game drops? Yes, 110%. It is no longer the disaster it was at launch. It is now something that I can put in my catalog and simply enjoy. It's a much better game now. And that would have never happened if they didn't listen to our feedback. They literally listened to all the stuff that we had to say. And look at where the game is at now. I'm starting to see a trend, right? I'm starting to see a trend where developers who listen to community feedback turn out to have better games, more nicer communities. Yeah, and it's not, you know, all, you know, I guess flowers, rainbows, sunshine. It's not like that, but it's a lot better than what the Call of Duty community is right now. I'm really starting to believe that it's a serious problem, not with the developers, but with how much control Activision actually has over them. You know, typically these publishers, they're only supposed to be doing stuff with, you know, the microtransactions and, you know, how they're going to advertise the game, so on and so forth, you know, budgeting the game. But when it comes to creative freedom, communicating with your actual community, the people who enjoy your game, all of this stuff, that's up to the developers. That's their choice to be able to complete, their choice to be able to do. That's not up to the publisher. But for some odd reason, it seems like every Call of Duty development team, even the best of the best who do communicate, are silenced throughout the whole cycle of the game. You know, right when the game launches and we are producing our feedback and we're trying to be heard and we're trying to improve the game, nothing. The most important part. Like they talk to us throughout the beta, which I guess is nice and all, but that's not the most good. The most crucial point is when the game launches to when, you know, a full year is over and, you know, the game is finally done and we move on to the next. That is such a crucial moment. And when that moment happens, it's nothing but radio silence. Nobody is heard. Nobody is speaking. I guess it's getting a little bit better with Modern Warfare 2 because they're sending out surveys for the movement, which I still have not gotten. I'm still thinking about making another video about that because I knew this was going to happen. They weren't going to send it to everybody. But, you know, at the end of the day, how many months in are we into this game? It's really bad. It's really bad, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like Activision is purposely taking down, you know, a really solid game. They're treating it as, I guess, a business instead of a game, which, you know, we all already know, but at the end of the day, they should still take our feedback. They should still know that people make up games, right? This isn't a necessity. This isn't something that people need to live. You know, if it really comes down to it and COD turns out to be that bad, they will move on. They really will. They don't need to buy COD to live day to day. It might be something that they, you know, have fun passing their time with. It might be something that, you know, they're in love with. They enjoy Call of Duty. But is it impossible for them to move away? No, it's not impossible for them to move away. And if it gets to the point where it becomes that bad, yes, they will. I mean, I've seen it time and time again. Year and year and year goes by, and more people leave. You know, it's just a matter of time if they keep going the direction that they are, that eventually everybody will probably be gone. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Go down in the comment section and leave your opinions down below about how you feel about this topic. I want to know, do you guys think it's the ego of the developers who work on Call of Duty titles? Or do you think it's Activision who's holding back the developers from actually talking to their communities? Because Activision, like I said, they're trying to run a business here. You know, they're not trying to run some type of game. And they know that if they listen to too much community feedback, that feedback will, you know, be implemented into the game, which will take away from what they want out of the game being a business. It seems like they just want total full control. It really does. I wouldn't even be shocked if they are listening into these developers' home lives. I would not be shocked at all if Activision is miking these people up. Like, they are so schemy and scummy that nothing shocks me at this point. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and that notification button. Also, want to chat me, this too, we do so. I have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Leave those in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.